Good morning, dear devotees and friends. From today, we are going to study a scripture which is known as Siddhanta Grantha. It gives the decision. It's not the Prakarana Grantha, like the Vivek Chudamani and the other Granthas like that. They are Prakarana Grantha. They prepare the mind of the disciple, of the aspirants, for the realization of the Brahman or the God. But this is a Siddhanta Grantha, the Yog Vashistha. This Yog Vashistha, it gives about the direct indication about the Brahman. And it helps us to realize the Brahman. How? By straight statements of facts. So this is a Siddhanta Grantha, and it gives the decision. And to understand the importance of the scripture, I like to quote the Vashistha Muni. He says, the one who can reflect on this book 3 times with a one-pointed mind will surely attain the knowledge of Brahman. Friends, we will come to this, but before, as is the tradition, we will chant is the sloka from Yoga Vashistha, and then we will begin. Dika kaladi anavachinna ananta chitmatra murtaye swanabhuti ekamanaya namah shantaya tejase. I bow down to that Supreme Brahman who is beyond all qualities. He is tranquil and beyond the limitations of the 10 directions, space, time, or objects, who alone is the embodiment of infinite consciousness and who is to be known only through the proof of one's own experience. So with this is the Brahman. As because we cannot directly say what is this Brahman, so it goes in the indication. But let us see how the Yoga Vashistha, it deals with this subject. Yoga Vashistha is a well-known text of Vedanta. Bhagavan Sri Ramkrishna, he used to ask the young Narendra to read the Yoga Vashistha before him. And Narendra at that time, he was the member of the Brahma Samaj and a young man of 15, 16 years old, 17 years old. So he was not that way matured, so he don't know, this is not a good book. It says that I am Brahman, I am God. This is blasphemy. One should not read this book. Then Swami Sri Ramakrishna used to say, you are not reading for yourself, you are reading for myself. I can't read. So you just read it out to me. By that way, he prepared the mind of his disciple, afterwards who became the lion of Vedanta. The Vedanta is the ultimate knowledge. Vedanta is very rational. And Vedanta with emotion, but the rationality is more stressed on that. And one who is following the Advaita Vedanta particularly can become completely free from all doubts. So this Yoga Vashistha is a well-known text. Almost all the Dasanami Sampradaya monks, particularly those in the Vedantic monks, they all read this book. It is deeply philosophical in content and very rational in its approach to truth, that is Brahman. This vast universe is mere reflection and not permanent. The Vedanta will always say this, though it's very difficult to believe. All these things that I see, all my families, they're illusory. It's not real. So that is very difficult to conceive, very difficult to understand. But the moment we can cross that through reasoning, and we understand the truth, and we go beyond this. So Yoga Vashistha teaches us that it contains very rational in its approach to truth, the Brahman. This vast universe is mere reflection and not permanent. It is also Brahman in another form. There is a negative and positive. First it says this, it is the universe that we see is all temporary. It is vanishing. We can see that. We will come to those things. Today only the introduction I will say as the beginning, the first day. The central message of the Yoga Vashistha is this. This universe is an illusory, it is a reflection, and at the same time it is another form of the Brahman. Is it not unique? It says that this is a reflection. It is not true. You should not put your mind onto this. At the same time, it says this is also another form of Brahman. Why? Because except Brahman there is nothing. Even the reflection that comes, that is also Brahman's reflection. As because there is nothing else. So this is the reason we have to understand the Brahman is everything. And if Brahman is everything, where I stand, I am also in Brahman. I am also Brahman. But why? I can't understand that. That doubt came in the mind of a great soul, Sri Ramachandra. And their family teacher, Vashistha, will be giving him the answer and slowly bring that young mind. He was only 16 years old. His father says not even 16. But even then, this Ramachandra, he developed that, no, this world is temporary. He understood that. So friends, we will go through that. And we will follow a beautiful story. You know, anything that our Indian scriptures, except some of our Upanishads, mostly goes through the stories, one after another, and particularly the Puranas and the Mahabharata, if you read, you won't be able to stop. Because one story will link with another, and another will link to another. It goes in so wonderful way, the whole thing comes, is very difficult. Once you start reading, you won't be able to stop till you know the whole thing. It goes in that way. Yoga Vashistha also begins in that. Venkateshananda, the one Swami, he also wrote on the Vashistha Yoga. And from him we get the beautiful stories. I will read from that book. The one sage, his name was Sutikshna. And this Sutikshna, he was talking with another sage whom many of us we know. We have heard the name, Agastha. There is the famous Agastha Muni. And Sutikshna, he was asking the Agastha, O sage Agastha, which one of the two is conducive to liberation? Karma or the Jnana? The work or the knowledge? So one sage asking the another. Then Agastha is replying. So the birds are able to fly with the two wings. Even so, both work and knowledge together lead to the supreme goal or liberation. Why this question? Because there was a doubt. Always it was in the society. When the beginning, all our munis, they used to think how the conception came. It is slowly is generated. It's not in one day. And particularly Hinduism is based on direct knowledge. So obviously it's like a science. They're trying this, trying that, and then thinking, this is the correct. So this way, step by step, they developed. In the beginning, when they saw this powerful nature, the tremendous wind is uprooting the trees, big trees, they thought this must be the God. And they considered the bayou, then the fire burning the huge forest. They thought, my God, this is so powerful, it must be the God. So Agni, then the thunder and the rain, it must be the God of all gods. He is the king of gods, Indra. And he is having the Vajra. He is keeping everyone under discipline. So that is the way slowly they used to develop this conception from the Prakriti. And also they used to think, why our ancestors, they passed away, where they have gone? Are they lost? They were with us. Yesterday he was with me, and today he is not. Where it can be? It must be the God. So that conception of God was developing in this form. And they used to think in that way. Then they thought, we have to have some connection with God. And how can we connect the God? Then they developed the yajna, the fire. And the fire, the smoke that goes up, even today the Hindus will believe, it carries my prayer to God. So that's why they started the yajna, and it was very useful for the ordinary people too. The Agni is Devata. Agni is the God. Whatever we are giving to it, and it takes to my God. So Indra, Varuna, and like that, so many gods and goddesses conception developed. So by that way they were doing, so it became the karma. When they were just pouring the clarified butter, the ghee into the fire, it was simple. Then along with that, they used to pour the mantras, their prayers in Sanskrit. Then slowly, they developed all those, how to give it, with the right hand or the left hand, or this or that. So all complication developed. So one group of people, they started giving the importance on the yajna, and they call it karma. You want a son? Well, now you have to pray. So that is, we know the Ramchandra himself. His father was not having any children. So he organized the yajna, and from the yajna the porridge came, and that was distributed among his 3 queens, and the Rama and his other 3 brothers, they were born. So that is the way it was there, the powerful mantras. It's called karma. The moment they say karma yoga, through karma you are going to the God. You can go to God, you can go to heaven, you can achieve many things through that powerful mantras, the karma. It was true, and it is true. But at the same time, some people started thinking that through action, whatever we are achieving, it is temporary. I am doing something, in exchange I am getting something. So something that I am getting must be temporary, because in exchange of my work. So karma phala, the work that I am doing, I am pouring the oblation and it's going to God, and the God is giving me the blessings, is temporary. So obviously there must be something which is permanent. Why not go for that? Then they developed meditation. And one group of people, they were very happy with the yajnas. Another group, they separated from that. On this point, why not search for something permanent? They went deeper and deeper, and they found parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana nirveda maya krita kritena. The pariksha, they examined all these. They examined the air, they examined the earth, the water. Everything is temporary. There must be something permanent. Otherwise, how can I understand that this is temporary? I can understand that my body is temporary because it is changing. My mind is temporary because it is changing. But something is there within me which is observing and telling me this is temporary. Who is that? So, kaschid dhira pratyagatmanamaishyat avritta chakshu amritattamichan. Then a few, the dhira they say, a quiet people, very calm, very intelligent people, they close their eyes. In a beautiful language they're expressing, eyes means they control all their senses. Yog Vashistha will also teach us how to control the senses. Without that, nothing is possible. So how to control the senses they developed. The moment they control the senses, their mind became completely tranquil, because the senses going out and bringing all the informations from the sense objects, now it stopped. So they go deep and deep. Then ultimately they discovered that there is the consciousness within me, but that consciousness is not real consciousness. That's the reflection of the original consciousness. They understood that that consciousness is everything. That was the greatest discovery that the human society has ever done. That is called the Atman, that is Brahman, and in different names they call it. So this is called Brahma. This is Brahma Jnana. To realize that Brahman, that is one and alone and everything. So everything that we see is nothing but the manifestation of the one. There cannot be two. The moment there is two, the conception of two means there is confliction. And confliction means destruction. The Swami Vivekananda once commented, shall God die? Impossible. So Vedanta goes in this way. So we will come to that. Here, when this Rishi Sutikshna, he is asking the Agastha, then Agastha told, okay, sure, the birds are flying with they fly with two wings, and it is also possible with the two, Jnana and Karma, one can realize the Brahman. But I shall narrate to you, again, when they asked this to Agastha, Agastha told, of course it is like that, but I will tell you a story that happened. And then you will understand how it happens. Your question will be answered. Then he tells the story of, I shall narrate to you a legend in answer to your question. There once lived a holy man, his name was Karunya, who were the son of Agnivesha. His father was Agnivesha. They always used to give the identity, because the same name may be many, so they used to give the identity, the place or the father. Even today, if you go to the southern part of India and also in the northern part, they always add the first name is the father, maybe the grandfather's name, then the father's name, then the name of the village where they live or they were born, and then lastly it will be his name. So it goes in this way, 3, 4. So P. Bhi Narasimha Rao, like that it goes. So that P is something, B is something, like that, because identity. And also in the north, in Punjab, and you will find the same. They will say the Punjabi or Calcutta wala, then he was born in Kolkata, so his name is this. And so this was the tradition. Here we find it is also the son and the father's name. The son was Karunya and the father, he was Agnivesha. Having mastered the holy scriptures and understood their purport, the young man became apathetic to life. Seeing this, Agnivesha demanded why Karunya had abandoned the due performances of his daily duties. This is always the eternal problem of the fathers. The son, when they grow and they start thinking in their own way, and the fathers are confused why they are not following my footsteps. So I am doing this, I also studied the scripture, and what happened to him? So what is there? The scriptures are scriptures, and after that I have to earn some money, maintain the family. He also, but the son is different. So he became anxious. What happened to him? And he asked. Then the son told, do not the scripture declare on the one hand that one should fulfill spiritual injunctions till the end of the one's life, and on the other hand that immortality can be realized only by the abandonment of all actions. In one hand the scripture is telling you must do your duty, and at the same time same scripture is telling tyage naike amritatmana shugu, without renouncing all actions you cannot realize. Caught between these two doctrines, what shall I do? O my Guru and Father. And he asked his father, and he was his Guru. Now the father, he said, Agnivesha, he said in this way, my son, listen, I shall narrate to you an ancient lesson. See how the stories goes, one after another, the thread going on, connecting. The first, if you can remember, that the Sutikshna, he was asking Agastha. Then the Agastha narrated the Karunya and Agnivesha. And then again, and it goes on, the Agnivesha is going on, telling another story. What is that story? Once upon a time, a celestial named Suruchi was seated on a peak in Himalayas. When she saw a messenger of Indra, the king of gods, fly past. Questioned by her, he informed her of his mission, which was as follows. Now, when we think of the Swarga, heaven, we think it's a conception. But there were some places, they say, there's a theory that in reality it was the Kashmir and the higher region of that Himalaya, it was Swarga. It is a beautiful place. And the people who used to live over there, they were very powerful and very intelligent, educated, cultured. So they were called the Devata, and that was the Sarga. And below that, and there were other people who were not that way cultured and educated, but they were very capable to work. So they were known, so naturally, two groups. So one group was vying with another. So they say Ashura. Ashura was, they were technicians. They were very good technicians, and they used to help in developing many things. So this way it says, in that one lady, she was the divine singer, and she was sitting over there, and then she saw one person very fast moving from there. What happened? No, I have a message I have to deliver. What is that message? A royal sage by name Arishtanemi, Agastha, all these names we have heard. This Arishtanemi was Rajarshi. That's why I say royal sage. Raja, Rishi. Raja is the king, but at the same time he was a very knowledgeable person. So Rishi, so he entrusted his kingdom to his son and engaged heartbreaking austerities in Gandhamadan Hill he was doing the practice of austerity. What is this austerity? Constantly keeping the mind at the feet of the God. That is called austerity. Sometimes they won't eat much, and because when I am eating I feel sleepy, though the time will be wasted. So they will go on a little food, and then most of the time they will keep their mind either studying the scripture or meditating or repeating the name of God, praying to Him, singing to Him. That is called austerity, spiritual austerity. So he was doing that in the Gandhamadan Hill. So Indra, all these positions, how they achieved, why he became Indra? Because he practiced spiritual austerities and then severe his spiritual austerities. So he got that position. It's a position, it's a post. So obviously if someone else is doing much better than him, then he will be replaced. The Indra is always concerned about that. Am I going to lose my position? If someone better than me comes up, then it will be difficult. Then in every country where there will be election, so obviously the man in the position, the acting, the person, so he is very much worried. Who else is coming up? And the person who is against me, what are the things he is doing? This is natural. So this is in the worldly things. Indra was also doing in the same way. So he is saying that go and then request that person to come to my heaven. So this, he went over there, the Arishtanemi, and told the Arishtanemi, why don't you come to heaven? The king Indra, he is requesting you and he is sending the invitation. It's a great respect. The Arishtanemi, the royal sage, however, wanted to know the merit and demerit of heaven. So through the stories, the truths are coming. What is there in the heaven? Is it the permanent peace that I will achieve there? Then naturally he replied, the messenger replied, in heaven the best, the middle, and the least among pious mortals receive appropriate rewards. And once the fruits of their respective merits have been exhausted, they return to the world of the mortals. So this is heaven. It's a temporary place, but good place. You can enjoy, but temporary. As long as all your good works will be there. And when it is exhausted, you have to go back. If you have money in the credit card or the debit card and you go to a 7-star hotel, they will come, sir. The best thing, treatment will be there. The moment they will understand that you don't have money in the bank, immediately they will say, go out. So those people will say, tell you, so no chance. So it is just like that. If you go to heaven, they will say, come, sir, enjoy, sir. And suppose you have done many good things, your position will be higher, the middle and the lower, but all will get. But the moment you are exhausted with that, there will be a calculation that if you are leaving over here, this much percentage of your good deed will be exhausted, and ultimately they will say, now it is time, go back to mortal again. And it is not only here in the Upanishad, in the Kathopanishad it says, Nakasya prishtete sukrite anubhutve imam lokam hinataram bhavishanti. It is there. The Hindus believe it, Buddhists believe it, karma phala. So that is the reason Hindu don't like to go to heaven even. But that is also temporary. Someday they will say, go back to where I will go. So it's better to go somewhere from where there is no return. And what is that place? Your own self. It is that Atman, that is the Brahman. If you go to any god or goddess, temporary. That is the reason Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, is the highest. But now it depends. I am not ready up for that. Okay, let me at least go to that much. Now some people, they are not having that much budget. They cannot go to Europe or America for traveling. So they go to Singapore. From India, they go to Singapore, they go to Malaysia, they go those places. Because my budget is that much. I cannot take the whole family to America. It is very costly. But some people, they are having a lot of money. They will come to America. They will visit the European countries. They will enjoy. It depends on how much money you are having. Similarly, if you have the good work, you go to this loka, that loka, but temporary. And after that, again you have to come back. So the Vedanta says again and again, why you are wasting your energy for that? Go to Brahman and merge in that, and there is no return back. The returning back means suffering. Again the karma phala, again born in some place, again grow up. That is very terrible. Sometimes someone was telling, Swamiji, what do you think? Do you like to come back once again? I told, there is no problem for me to come back. The problem only, again you have to go to school with all the school bags and again start with ABCD and all this Ava Kaka. So that is the terrible life. I don't like to come back for that. Otherwise it was all right. So this is I was just joking. So this is the way we have to think. Swami Vivekananda said, as long as anyone will be hungry, even a dog suffering, I will come back and I will try to help the people and the souls who are suffering. That is a great. That is Vivekananda can say, Narada can say, that is a different the level. But for us, we'll be very happy to get the liberation. So for that liberation, we are studying this book to get the guidance, because these will guide us to Brahman. Then again, he came back, he had the conversation. The Aristonemi refused to go to heaven. He came back and reported to the Indra. Indra told, you better take him to Valmiki. Valmiki, the great Rishi, the Muni, he was very famous. So you better take him to Valmiki. Valmiki will talk to him and convince him. So he goes to Valmiki. He says, before you are discarding this offer, please come to Valmiki. Valmiki will talk to you. The royal sage was then introduced with the Valmiki. He asked Valmiki, what is the best way to rid oneself of birth and death? This is the question. How to go beyond the circle of birth and death? In reply, Valmiki narrated him the dialogue between Rama and Vashistha. So the story goes in this way. The Sutikshna was asking, and that to refer to another, and then referred to another, and finally the Aristonemi, when he came to Valmiki, and Valmiki told, well, I will tell you the conversation that took place between Rama and his guru, family guru, Vashistha, and from there he will get the reply. So we will go to that. I had composed the story of Rama earlier, and I had imparted it to my beloved disciple Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja, another famous saint. Many of the people, Indian people, they have the Gotra. That is Bharadwaja Gotra. That is the Brahmins, they say. The Bharadwaja Gotra is a rishi. Those who went to him to study, they got the Bharadwaja clan, the teachings of the Bharadwaja. Gotra means the tradition. So Shandila, another rishi, the students of Shandila Gotra. So now also the famous universities and all their students, they always say, we belong to this, we belong to that. So that is like this, so Shandila, Bharadwaja. Once when he went to the Mount Meru, Bharadwaja narrated it to Brahma. Valmiki composed Ramayana, the life of Rama, and that he taught to his son, to a beloved disciple, Bharadwaja. And then Bharadwaja went to Mount Meru, where Brahma, not Brahman, Brahma lives, Mount Meru. Bharadwaja narrated that to Brahma, the creator. Highly pleased with this, the latter granted a boon to Bharadwaja. Bharadwaja sought a boon that all human beings may be freed from unhappiness. The Brahma wanted to give the boon to Bharadwaja, and the Bharadwaja told, give me that boon by which all people become free from suffering. And this is called Dharma. And this is called Sanatana Dharma. Not for me, but for all. The eternal religion means thinking for others, feeling for others, sacrificing for others. That is Dharma. And we always think Dharma means some of the systems, and to follow that system we have to kill others, and at least we have to criticize others. Why? So understanding Dharma, and some people will say banish Dharma at all the religion are bad. It is not like that. We don't understand. Look at this. When the Brahma wanted to give the boon, and what he wanted, all human beings may be freed from unhappiness, and beg the Brahma to find the best way to achieve this. Brahma said to Bharadwaja, go to the sage Valmiki and pray to him to continue to narrate the noble story of Rama in such a way that the listener may be freed from the darkness of nescience, ignorance. And saying that, he accompanied Bharadwaja to Valmiki. And Brahma said to Valmiki, O sage, your story of Rama shall be the raft that with which men will cross the ocean of samsara. Having said this, the creator instantly disappeared. But the Rishi, the Valmiki, could not understand what Brahma actually meant. So he wanted to know from his disciple Bharadwaja. Then Bharadwaja repeated, Brahma would like you to reveal the story of Rama in such a manner that it would enable all to go beyond sorrow. I too pray to you, O sage, kindly tell me in detail how Rama, Lakshmana and other brothers freed themselves from sorrow. I then revealed to Bharadwaja the secret of liberation of Rama and his brothers. And he continued, neither freedom from sorrow nor realization of one's real nature is possible as long as the conviction does not arise in one that the world appearance is unreal. The Valmiki is telling. He is talking about the moksha. Then he said, I shall narrate to you how Rama lived an enlightened life of a liberated sage. Knowing this, you will be freed from the misunderstanding concerning old age and death. Friends, we are proceeding towards the knowledge of Brahman. And Valmiki now finally is going to tell us that by narrating the story of Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra's story, but before that what he said? You have to understand this world all around you, including my body and mind, is temporary. This is the first thing. Otherwise, it is impossible. Saying that, he is taking us to the story. Upon his return from the hermitage of his preceptor, in those days, as we have already discussed, those who are following my classes, you know, we have already discussed in our Bhagavatam class, the last message of Krishna, the groups they created, and one person's life was divided into 4 parts. First is the brahmacharya. The brahmacharya means up to 6 years he should be with the parents. The child should be with the parents. Then from 6 to the 16, this 10 years he should spend with the teacher. And after that he can come back and decide whether he will become a rishi or a monk or a householder, whatever the profession he wants to choose, he could choose. He was free to that. The Rama returned back. That means he completed the 16, the age. So he went to his preceptor, the house, and then he is coming back. And then the Rama was very happy. And he took the permission of his father and went out for pilgrimage. He went to all places of India and different holy places met the holy people and came back. Rama returned to toured the whole country from the Himalaya downwards along with his brothers. He then returned to the capital, and to the delight of the people of the country, they all used to love him. Upon entering the palace, the Ram then bowed down to his father, and natural, all those things. But after some days, he started changing. For some time, Rama lived in the palace, duly performing his daily duties. However, very soon, a profound change came over him. Dhritarashtra asked Rama, "Beloved son, what that is worrying you?" Just like any son to his father, see, sometimes one mother came to me and he was telling, "Swamiji, I am so much worried about my son. Please tell me how can I teach him," and all that. I was just laughing. The same problem was the famous king, the Dasharatha. He was having the same problem with his son Rama. About the other sons, there is nothing mentioned, because Rama, he was very famous and he was beloved. So Rama's concerned. Rama was not talking, not taking interest in the household duties or in the games or in many other things. The princes are supposed to do like that, but he was not participating in all those. He was rather preferring to be alone. So one of his friends and also the servant who was to look after him, he reported it to his father and Dasharatha. And Dasharatha was concerned. He asked, "Beloved son, what is worrying you?" And Rama politely replied, "Nothing, father." The Dasharatha could not get the answer from the Rama. Soon after this, there arrived at the palace Vishwamitra of the world renowned. And when the Vishwamitra came, Dasharatha was very happy. Vishwamitra was very powerful rishi. "O sage, what may I do for you? Pray, whatever be the wish with which you have come to me, consider that wish already fulfilled." This is a mistake that Dasharatha did. By this way, he gave the promise, in whatever wish that you are having, consider that it has been already granted, it has been given. The rishi have come to the king, and the king is supposed to, and what the king will do? He will give them money, some support. So that sometimes the rishis used to come to the king, "I have so many disciples, and I have for the maintenance, I need some money," and the kings used to give. So he thought it might be like that, but it was different. What is that? Vishwamitra was delighted to hear Dasharatha's word and proceeded to reveal the mission. What was the mission? "O king, I need your assistance in the fulfillment of a religious rite undertaken by me. Whenever I undertake a religious rite, the demons who are the followers of Khara and Dushana with these two names, it comes in the Ramayana again, invade the holy place and destroy all that. Under the vows of the righteous rite, I am unable to curse them." The rishi had the power to stop, but as a rishi, as a monk, we are not supposed to do that. It is the protection should be given by the king, by the rulers, the administrators, but the monks are not supposed to do anything against the other people. Then he said, "You can help me." How? "Your son Rama can easily deal with these demons, and in return for this help, I shall confer manifold blessings upon him." Now this is the problem. That's why we learn, don't give the word. That sometimes that is, one should learn how to control the tongue. Out of emotion, the Dasharatha, he said, oh, you are a great sage, you have come, and I am not reading all those. He said, as if you have come when there is no rain, as if rain has come, like that, so many flowery language he used. And he said, whatever you want, I will give it to you. Now it is a problem. I want your son to go and fight with this demon, and they are so terrible demons, Khara Dushana. So how the Rama of only 16 years can do that? Naturally the father, he was very much worried, and he said, and he was telling, your son Rama can do it. Hearing this highly unwelcome request, the king remained stunned and silent for a while, then replied, O sage, Rama is not even 16 years old. Just like any father, he will never increase the age of his son. He will always say, if it is 16, it is only 14. So like that, they always try to, O sage, Rama is not even 16 years old, and is therefore not qualified to wage a war. He has not even seen a combat. Command me to accompany you. Command my vast army to accompany you, and we will exterminate the demons. Dasharatha was a very powerful king. Very powerful. And in India, now we do not know, this Dasharatha's kingdom was not that only Ayodhya. It was only the capital. He was up to the Afghanistan, the huge kingdom he was having. One of his sons, the Rama's brother, the Bharata, his mother's house was there, and he used to go over there. So he, very vast and very powerful king. Vishwamitra was angry. This is a very special type of the rishis. If they want this, A means A, never B. So Vishwamitra was angry. Seeing this, the sage Vashistha intervened. Vashistha was their family guru. The Vashistha said, O king, it is unworthy of you to go back on your promise. He promised, just whatever you wish, that will be given to you. He promised. Now he is telling, no, not my son, but I am ready to go. The Vashistha said, no, it should not. So what is dharma? Keeping the promise. So see here also, king should be an exemplar of righteous conduct. Rama is safe in the care of Vishwamitra, who is extremely powerful and who has numerous invincible missiles. He will be teaching. Actually, that was all God's planning. The Rama went along with the Vishwamitra, and Vishwamitra taught him all this military training, gave him that. Rama and Lakshmana. Lakshmana also followed. Lakshmana was just like a shadow to Rama. So both the brothers learned lot many things from the Vishwamitra. And then the Dasharatha naturally asked the Rama's servant to go and call Rama. And Rama came. When the Rama came, they saw the Rama and they were wondering what happened. What makes you so sad, my son? Dejection is an open invitation to a host of miseries. The Dasharatha told his son, when the Rama came and they saw the Rama, he has reduced and he's calm, and that joyful, powerful, the young boy of 16 years, it is not there. He is completely different. He is withdrawn, his vacant look. He came, and as is the tradition of the Hindus, they went and touched the feet of the father and the gurus, Vishwamitra and Vashistha. Then he stood over there. The father told, what makes you so sad, my son? Then he said, dejection is an open invitation to host of miseries. The sages, Vashistha and Vishwamitra, also agreed to the king. Then Rama is asking. Friends, from here begins the Yoga Vashistha. Rama will be asking questions one after another, and Vashistha will be giving the answer. Vishwamitra could answer. See the wonderful system. Rama asked that question to Vishwamitra, because Vishwamitra wanted to take the Rama, and Rama told, I can go with you, but tell me. So he was asking question. Vishwamitra didn't reply. He knew the reply, but he didn't. He said, no, because your family teacher, family guru, he should give the reply. So that goes on. So it was the Sri Ramachandra. He is the son of the Dasharatha and Queen Kaikeyi, and he was the spiritual teacher of the Raghu dynasty, Vishwamitra. So this is the original Yoga Vashistha Ramayana, containing 32,000 verses. That's called Yoga Vashistha Ramayana. But it's very vast. So many stories are there. So many anecdotes are there. And in between there will be philosophies. A Kashmiri Pandit is a Abhinanda Gaur of 9th century. He condensed it with 6,000 verses. It's called Loghu Yoga Vashistha. Then another scholar, no one knows his name, further selected the important philosophical verses and published the essence of the Yoga Vashistha, Yoga Vashistha Sara, with 223 verses. We'll be reading that book, Yoga Vashistha Sara, because they're all philosophical. Guru Vashistha taught Sri Rama the truth, and that is Brahman. Vedanta stressed on direct realization of the Atman and freedom from the circle of birth and death, Janma Mitru Chakra. Yoga Vashistha Sara has 10 chapters. It's called Prakarana. The chapter is the Prakarana. The word Prakarana has been used, Sanskrit word, for many meaning. This Prakarana. First is detachment. In Hinduism, very first thing they will teach, you want realization, you have to detach yourself. So have you noticed the image of Goddess Kali? I tell it again and again. You know, the Kali the Goddess Kali having the 4 hands. See, the right hand side, both the hands, upper and lower, is so benign. And the upper hand, as if she is giving the assurance, I am the mother, you need not to worry. And the right hand, lower right hand, is giving the boon. What do you want, my children? Come, I will give it to you. At the right hand, right portion. Same Kali, go to the left, completely different. She is holding a sword and also a shivered head, and she is holding, and that is hanging. Why these two different? If you want worldly pleasures, worldly success, materialistic progress, come to the right. Same God. But if you want liberation, you like to go beyond the circle of birth and death, then come to the left. And the first thing that you have to do, you have to cut your ego. That's why the sword she is holding, she is not cutting the head of anyone. Why the head she is holding? Because the head is the symbol of intellect. She is also wearing the garland of the human skull. Why? The symbol of intellect, symbol of understanding. Human power is not in the body, it is in the head. The animal's power in the body. They are very powerful. The bird's power in the wing, but the human's power is in the head. This intellectual head, the understanding, analytical mind, these are, so first and foremost chapter is called detachment. You have to understand where your mind should be. So detachment called Vairagya Prakarana. Then universe is unreal. The second chapter. Jagat Mithwata Prakarana. Prakarana means the chapter. Jagat Mithya. And they will be giving all the examples. Then third comes self-knowledge. What I am going to achieve. I am detaching myself from what? This Jagat, this world. And what is this world? This is also temporary. It is also Mithya. Mithya doesn't mean that it is not here. It is here, but it is not real. And what does it mean by real? It is not permanent. It's going on changing. So if you want this, you are going to lose someday. So go to the self-knowledge, third. Tattva Jnana Prakarana. Then dissolution of mind. So what is the problem? It is my mind. My mind goes out and it minds enjoy this worldly thing. So dissolve that mind. Destroy that mind completely. Eradicate that mind. So that is the fourth step. Dissolution of the mind. Mono Laya Prakarana. Don't be afraid. If the mind is not there, what we will do? Every day we do. When you go to sleep, what happened? When you go to sleep, the first thing that we forget the body. Then we go to the dream world. Their mind is active. Then that also stop. We go into the susupti, and the third stage where the mind is also not there. So that is called monolaya. The mind is no more there. So similarly, the monolaya. And the fifth is destruction of the desires. And vasana uposhama prakarana. Then sixth, meditation of the self. Atma Manana Prakarana. Then policy of the purification of what to do to purify the mind and thought. Shuddhi Nirupana Prakarana. Worshipping the self. Now we reach to the Atman, and in the Atman we have to worship. Worship means we have to adore. So that Atma Archana Prakarana. Understanding the self, Atma Nirupana Prakarana, the state of emptiness and non-emptiness. Emptiness and non-emptiness, the Shunya, Ashunna, Pada Prakarana. The Buddhists, they say it is all Shunya, nothing is there. Vedanta says it is not Shunya. It is there because it is Brahman is there. On the Brahman it is reflected. So we cannot deny the Brahman. When you go to movie, we see a white screen. On that white screen, all the movies are going on. Stories are going on, developing over there. But we cannot say that there is nothing. Of course, the white screen is there. But the pictures that is projected on that, it is Shunya, nothing. But on what we see the picture? That is called the difference between the Vedantin and the Buddhist. Now we have termed the subtitle of this that we will be studying, a guide to Brahma Jnana. Yoga Vashistha, a guide to Brahma Jnana. But Brahma Jnana cannot be expressed by words. As we find the Jnana Shamkalini Tantra, in the 52nd verse it says, Uchishtam Sarva Shastrani Sarva Vidya Mukhe Mukhe Na Uchishtam Brahmana Jnanam Abhyakta Chetanamayam. All scriptures and all knowledge uttered by the lips, and naturally it has become defiled. But the Brahman, which is unmanifest and of the nature of consciousness and true knowledge, has never been defiled, no one could express what is Brahman. So that we will see how the Rishi Vashistha is expressing and giving that Brahma Jnana to Sri Ramachandra. The one commented that usually the God teaches the people, and here the teacher is teaching the God himself. Sri Ramachandra is the God. So that is very interesting. We will study from our next Sunday classes. Friends, if you like to follow me, I am trying to follow this particular book, Nectar of Supreme Knowledge, Yog Vashistha Sara by Swami Ishatmananda. So you can, this book is available in our bookstore. If you like to follow the pages along with me, you can procure this book. You can write to our bookstore and they will supply to you. So let us say Shanti 3 times. Huh?
We have some questions.
Okay.
So the first question is from Charles Fieldman. He says, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna never told a lie, yet he told Narendra that he was reading this book for Thakur's sake, when he knew this was also for Narendra's sake. Please explain.
See, this is the father and the son way dealing. The son don't like to listen to the father, and the father develops some method. It's not false. For the betterment of the beloved one, if you are telling that sometimes the child will say, I don't like to eat this. Then, oh no, you are not eating this, and you are eating a sweet. And you put that particular medicine into the sweet and ask the child to eat. We do it, mothers they do. So that is not the false thing. That is the affection, it is the love, and the father knows that is going to do good to the child, the son, the beloved one. So they say like that. This is not untruth. Very good question. Thank you.
Two very similar questions. One is from Shukradeep and the other is from Devjani Dhar. Shukradeep is asking how to practice spirituality while in a family life, and Devjani Dhar is asking preparation to reach Brahman in family life.
No, but almost same. So, see, is a preparation. And preparation, they always say, the Shankara and the other, they always say, you have to purify the mind. And what is the purification of the mind? Understanding this world is temporary. Again and again the Vedanta says that. And when we understand that, don't get attached to that. Involvement is all right, but don't get attached to that. Whether in a monastic life, organizational monastic life, individual monastic, he goes on Ramta Sadhu, that is different. But the organizational monastic life like ours, we have so many duties, responsibilities, we are performing that, but at the same time we are not attached at all. The same way, if you can develop as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a sister, and any relation in the family, you must act accordingly. At the same time, in the deep core of your mind, you should know nothing is permanent. Everything is going to leave me. So, oh God, you are the only one, and I am that Atman, I am that Brahman. That way it's called preparation, and the easiest way that the Tantra and the Bhakti Marga they have developed is the Mantra Diksha. If you have taken the mantra from the Guru, and if you go on repeating the mantra, that will purify your mind, whatever you are doing in the world. But if you go on repeating the mantra, mantra has a special power, it will purify your mind for sure. That is the way. Thank you.
The next question is from Kamal Chaudhary, saying, what is the difference between a Rishi and a Muni?
Rishi and the Muni, almost the same. The Muni is the Mananshila. They used to, the think tank, nowadays in the modern times they say, every government they will have, the president or the prime minister will have some think tank. They are not directly involved, but they research on a particular object, thing, and then when necessary, give the advice to that administrator. The Munis are like that. They were the think tank. They used to develop, they used to think how to develop the agriculture. Now, in those days, animal husbandries, and like that. The Munis, they were the advisors of the kings, and they were the think tank. Rishis, they were the researchers of the spiritual life. They used to go and do themselves, perform themselves, and they used to do the research on themselves and find the path for God realization. But very subtle, very difficult, but we can say these are the two differences.
The next question again from Charles Philman. He said, you said the monks are not allowed to curse. Is that why monks of the Ramkrishna order do not participate in politics?
Oh, Charles, you know a lot. Very good. Thank you. So that is the reason, when we take the oath as a monk, all monks, so we take the oath, from me no danger be to aught that lives. Swami Vivekananda said. And there are some of the oaths, my whole life is dedicated for the betterment of others. How can I curse? But the moment you take the participation in the politics, politics means power grabbing. And sannyasa means giving away. How these two can go together? If I am supporting a party, whatever it may be, A or B, then naturally if I support the A, I have to criticize B. And the monk cannot do that. Should not do that. That's why we are away from the politics.
So the next question is from Tuhin, saying, what is the meaning of sword in Ma Kali's left hand?
Sword. Oh, that is the sword means jnana. There's a jnana khadga, they say. Jnana khadga means, khadga is the sword, but it is made of knowledge. It is symbolic, Hindus, they always give the symbolic. The sword is a symbolic one, as if you are cutting your head. That means the ignorance that you are cutting. Then we will be reading in the Yog Vashistha, we have to cut all the ignorances. I, me, this world, my family, these are all ignorance. I have to cut it, and then we have to go. That is the symbol of the sword.
One request from Tanya Guha. I request if you could please deliver a talk on importance of japa and meditation. That you already gave her.
Japa meditation.
Yeah, she wants that you could please talk on japa and meditation. Some more.
Okay. So I think I delivered. I don't know, but in our website, if you go, the chicagovedanta.org, there in the home page, if you scroll down a little, and there will be all that Facebook and the Twitter and all that, and one devotee's blog is there. One lady devotee and her husband, they have collected all my talks and they kept over there, and very nicely they have given. If you go and open it, and you will find this type of talk over there. Or of course, it's a very interesting topic. Someday we may talk again. Thank you, Tanya. So let us say 3 times, Shanti, 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 and we conclude. Our problem comes, I just reminding you, comes from the nature and from the neighbors and the people around, and not only the people, animals and insects. And the third problem comes from my mind and body. So the prayer to the Supreme that please be happy with me. Om Shanti, 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat.